Today we're at Duthie Hill in Sammamish, Washington, and I cannot wait. I'm riding a test bike today. I decided to take advantage of the nearby Ibis dealer and rent a Mojo 3. This bike has been haunting me. I love my Bronson. I have a 16 Bronson V2 that's super fun, especially in Moab and Utah and the big, steep, chunky stuff where you just fly. But most of what we've been riding has not been big, steep, chunky stuff, and I'm trying something with a little less travel that's a little more nimble. This one has the 2.8-inch plus tires. I'm excited to give it a try, see what it feels like. Well, it's definitely shorter than my Bronson. I'm not reaching as far forward, which is just fine, but a little different. I can definitely feel the difference. This is a size medium. My Bronson's a size medium, but it feels probably an inch or two longer. This is also my first time riding SRAM's Eagle 12-speed. It's pretty lively for a plus bike. I can definitely feel the short rear end, which is awesome. All right, here we go. We are on the boot camp trail. This does seem to bob. The suspension's more active than my Bronson. Feels pretty composed on this stuff. More fun on slow stuff than my Bronson. You can definitely feel it being shorter. Oh, definitely snappier. Feel that shorter front center. Feels a little bit more sluggish. Still, fast little bike. Very fun. These tires are awesome. You can lean it so hard. Corner faster because of it. Oh yeah. This is amazing. I don't know if it's the length or the tires or a combination of both. But man, I can rail on this thing. Still haven't found the perfect manual balance point, but oh, this is fun. This thing's way better at corners like this that are linked succession compared to my old bike. I shouldn't say old, they're both the same, came out in the same year. This is more fun at slow speeds though. Pump's all right. Oh, that was fun. Let's try the pump track. Oh, man, this is fun. The wide tires definitely give you confidence on this stuff. What a fun park, man. Whoa. That was freaky. Not expect that drop there. Feels a little sluggish on the climbs compared to the Bronson. Just rode it back to back with the 5010 small. The 5010 sprints better, a lot better. I feel like it climbs better too. I like the VPP. It hooks up better and just kind of takes off. But the fun factor's off the charts with this, with both of them. This one feels a little less serious. The Santa Cruz feels a little more like an attack fighter jet. This feels like a just super playful thing. Wants to pump off everything. It's really a fun bike. I'm thinking, do I want to sell my bike, take a hit, and then pay another $1,200, $1,500 to get this bike. I don't know yet, but I'm having a lot of fun today, and I'm really confident on it right off the bat. And on the slow twisty turns, it rocks. It's way more fun than my Bronson. Like, these bikes are so close to each other, most people blindfolded wouldn't tell the difference. I can definitely feel the difference in the suspension. I feel like that one is a little bit, the Santa Cruz is a little bit stiffer, a little bit snappier on the acceleration, and this one bobs a little bit more. I'm going to try adding a little, maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds, see if it makes any difference to it. Way more fun than my Bronson on this slow stuff. This shot keeps getting bumped to the close setting. Oh, this is the perfect bike for all these buff trails. I would not want more suspension here. Yep, the 50-10 sprint's better. This one's fine though. It's just not as stiff when sprinting, but it pumps well. Oh, this thing manuals like a BMX bike. Yeah? It's amazing. So much better than my Bronson at manualing. And the steep head angle's cool in this stuff. Steeper. It's 0.8 degrees, but you can definitely feel it. These tires rock on roots.
This part is so fun.
It's called Deuces Wild. It's a dual slalom track. Pretty much a BMX track, you don't have to pedal. This is what I love this bike for. You gotta go faster. Oh man, that's fun. Oh, that's steep. Yeah. Whoa. Started rolling the tire over there. I need more pressure. No, just go right over it. Straight up. This one is so steep. Woo! Oh, this thing manuals so well. On the loose gravel, standing and sprinting. I can still break the rear tire free. If you run too low a pressure in these, it starts to bob and squirm a little. That's where I'm at right now in the rear. I let out a little too much, then I burped it. This thing is a wheelie machine. I can even shift while wheeling. I can't do that on my bike. So much balance and control. That short rear end. Really helpful for small guys like me. All right, we're back with a little more air in the shock. A little bit more air in the tires. Back to Deuces Wild, our favorite trail so far. Gotta carry more speed this time. Oh yeah. Woo! Way faster with more air. Way better jumping and faster. Whoa, not used to that turn. Haven't seen this line yet. Not quite ready for that. Oh, she's getting fast. Oh, you're too fast. You're good. I'm staying left. Ooh, almost cleared that this time. Can I out-pump her? No! She wins.
Yeah, like with the 1 minute start.
No, like 5 seconds. Voodoo Child and Rehab down here. I don't like the KS Lev post with the Fox lever. I used to love the KS Lev, but my reverb spoiled me, I think. Also, an interesting note, this is a medium. Ibis tends to run a little bit smaller than other bike companies, so the medium fits me well at 5'6". Feels perfect for me. Way smaller than my medium Bronson. But the 150 mil Fox dropper post was too tall for me. Even slammed. Holy crap. Even slammed, I couldn't get it to go down enough, so we had to swap it out for a smaller KS Lev. Here's Voodoo Child. I've never ridden it, so I'm gonna be taking it easy. Yeah, that's cool. All right. We're just gonna roll everything. Oh, that's a pretty big drop. I'm glad I didn't do that one. Yeah, this thing is so comfortable in the air. Oh, sweet. Whoa, got a little sideways in the air on that one. Okay, that was fun. I'm using up 95% of the travel on this stuff, which is fine. I don't think I bottomed out. If I have, it's so smooth I haven't felt it. But this bike is charging me. It's encouraging me to push and take lines I wouldn't normally take. I think my Bronson is just too long for me, and I don't feel very comfortable on the lip of jumps because it's the front wheel's so far out there. It's probably only like 2 inches more wheelbase, but I can definitely feel it. I'm having fun pushing it on this. It just inspires me to try stuff first try that I wouldn't. It's very forgiving. It feels just right in the air, and the big tires give me a lot of confidence if I land a little bit off. All right, this is Braveheart. We're gonna try it on some chunk. This is where the Bronson's happy. The steep, chunky, rocky. And this is doing just fine. I think if I had smaller tires, I'd be frustrated. But with these big tires, I can get away with more. It's so nimble though, it can turn on a dime. It's gotta be Combination of the shorter wheelbase and the steeper head angle, which doesn't feel steep, it feels just right. This bike is sorted. So fun popping off of everything. And it keeps its momentum. Yep. I'm gonna ride the 5010 real quick, compare. All right, let's continue. I'm on the 5010 now with super low pressure because Teresa runs her tires so low. Interesting, this turns, the handlebars turn easier. It's quicker. It feels like a steeper head angle. It's not, but it feels like it. This feels, oh, it sprints so much quicker. Yeah. This bike is amazing too. In a cross-country race, I'd rather have this 5010, even though it's not a cross-country bike. Plenty of traction, even with the, I think we have a 2.2 in the back. This bike's fast. Here's the 5010 I'm riding. 5010C GX.
I don't like these pedals.
They suck, huh? I hate them too. Thoughts about the bike? What words come to mind?
I can, now that I've ridden it down some like rocky sections, I can feel the difference with the tires. It feels like it has a little more suspension than it does. It just feels a little softer. Absorbs a little more of it, but it is a very, very similar feeling to my bike. I do like the way mine climbs though.
Yours is way faster on the climbs. I think what we're feeling on the climbs is several things. The suspension bobs a lot less on the 5010. I shouldn't say bobs. It just sits mid-travel and just cruises up stuff. It's still, I also know we're feeling lighter tires and lighter wheels, big time. You'll feel that anytime you're accelerating. I think I'd be faster on the 5010, and I think I'd be grinning more on the Mojo 3. It feels like way more than a 130 mil travel bike, and the suspension moves more on that than it does on the 5010. Some people are gonna love that. Those big tires gripped a lot better up that. You can be a much lazier rider on that Mojo, whereas I'm spinning like crazy on the 5010. Oh, this bike sprints so much better. Pedals. Let's trade. Both bikes are incredibly light, but that one feels light when you ride it. This one doesn't feel super heavy, but it does not accelerate nearly as fast as that does, which makes that super fun.
The 5010 just feels so spry.
Yeah. We're also running Minions on this. That's not what these originally come with, which I actually love the Minions in the 2.3 variety, and I love them on this tire too. DHF in the front and DHR in the rear. DHR2 in the rear. I think I'm feeling the weight of them, but I don't care because it's a lot of fun. You're probably not going to win a race on the big tires, but man, they sure are a lot of fun. And I've been riding for 20 years, and I'm not too manly to say I have fun on the big tires. I don't care if it's a little bit slower, I'm having fun. It's not just for novices who've never been riding. It's just kind of a different feel. More like, and this feels more like a BMX bike than I've ever ridden. So much like a BMX bike. Pumping stuff, jumping stuff. It's just so well composed. And I think a lot of it could be that I finally found a bike that I'm sized right. The 5010s, I'm right in between a small and a medium. 5.6 is like right on the small end of a medium, so it feels too big for me. And on this, I'm right in the middle of it. It's fun to compare.
It's good to ride other bikes.
How would you describe the wider tires to someone who's never ridden them?
On this particular bike, I don't notice the difference most of the time, except when I'm going down things that are like rocky or small root drops or things like that. Then it makes the drops feel smaller. You don't have to absorb so much of it with your body like I do on the 5010. That being said, I don't mind the 5010, but that bike will do a little bit more of it for you. It's a little bit of a cushy ride just from the tires.
And you can run up to a 2.5-inch tire on the 5010, which I think would get almost the same feel. They're very similar. And the cool thing about this bike, you've probably seen a bunch of other reviews, but the cool thing about this Mojo 3 is it's not a 29er that can fit 27.5. It's a 27.5 bike that happens to have really wide chain stays to fit these wide tires in there. Clearance is tight, but it doesn't ride like a big 29er. I have yet to find a 29er that feels like a BMX bike. They're probably out there, but since I'm 5'6" and I'm so short, I just feel so unwieldy on them. And if I'm on a small one, the tires are so big, I'm hitting my front foot with them when I turn. Anyway, just trying to share my thoughts with you for those of you that have not had a chance to ride this and are curious about it. Hate the KS Lev post. I'd want a reverb. I don't normally like Fox forks a ton, but this one's doing just fine. It's a Fox 34, and the rear shock's doing just fine. Even with, I put 10 PSI more in it, and it rides a little bit more lively. I wonder if I put another 10 PSI if it'd ride a little bit more like the 5010. And I also like that the Mojo 3 comes with a 140 fork, whereas that comes with a 130 fork. Another thing I love about the Mojo 3 size medium is the seat post gets down like an inch below where it does on my Bronson. So when I'm doing the pump track or little jumps, the seat's not in the way. On the Bronson, it's in the way a lot. This was a good trail to try it on, kind of a cross-country loop, but it was really rocky at the starting.
It's true, that was a good place to test it.
It works fine in the stuff that the Bronson excels at. You can't just point it down crazy stuff and let off the brakes like you can with the Bronson. You have to pick your line a little better. Right there. I just grabbed an armful of stinging nettles, so that means we're done. What a fun day. What a fun bike. Wheelies so well. This bike is so fun. It's all smiles. More fun than my Bronson would have been there. My Bronson makes you feel macho because you're like, yeah, I could air off that and then land on that rocky section and just ride out of it. And you can. And this is a hard thing to come to grips to in the mountain bike world. You always want to ride harder and harder trails. At least a lot of people do. They're like, oh, I want to be able to do the Black Diamonds. Well, to do the Black Diamonds, you need a bike that's set up for the Black Diamonds. And usually the bikes that are set up for the Black Diamonds can do the blue square, the blue circle and the green circle and the blue square. They can get through those, but they're not fun on them. They're only fun where it's really choppy and it makes that stuff easy. So back when I had the Nomad, I could ride like whole enchilada, just fly through the nasty sections. But when I'm in stuff like this, it's not nearly as much fun. And with the way that we travel and we go to different places every single week, we can't set up a shuttle because we have our own vehicle. And Teresa's still new and she doesn't love bombing down really rocky stuff. And I have more fun riding with her than riding hard stuff by myself. So for me, the better bike is this. I can have fun, pop off everything, turn the whole world into a giant BMX track or a pump track while she's still railing the corners on her own. And it just makes more sense because 90% of the riding we do that. If I were doing whole enchilada, I'd rather have the Bronson. If I were doing Ahab, it'd be a toss-up. I prefer the Santa Cruz suspension. I like the way that it accelerates. I like that when you stomp on it, it just kind of hooks up and feels more like a hardtail. This just keeps going. It never felt saggy or soggy or wallowy, but I could always feel it was moving even when I was pedaling, whereas the Santa Cruz accelerates and it has more of a hardtail feel. That being said, this suspension didn't bother me. I just slightly prefer the Santa Cruz suspension. So, truth be told, between the Mojo 3 and the 5010, both are going to be super fun bikes. You can still run pretty wide tires on both. This doesn't have to be a plus bike. You could run 2.3 wide tires on it and get that quicker acceleration, and that'd actually be really fun to try. But I had such a fun time on these big tires that they didn't feel soggy. They didn't roll over in turns unless my pressure was too low. But they did feel heavy, and I felt it going up hills, and accelerating was really slow, but the fun factor is just huge. My favorite is just coming into gravelly, loose turns, and I don't have to brake so much. I could lean into it and rail it, and it would just stick to the trail. And so I was able to ride slow stuff faster. So I'd rather ride a slow bike fast than ride a fast bike slow, if that makes any sense. I wish it felt like my Bronson on the suspension. That being said, this jumped way better. This pumped equally as well. This just felt so composed. So many times I'd come up to a jump and be like, I don't have enough speed to clear that, and just boost it anyway, and I would clear it. Whereas on the Bronson, I just felt like I was on the back, kind of taking it off the back, and I think the bike was too long. The Bronson's too long for tight stuff and for easier trails, lower speed trails. The Bronson and the Nomad, they just want to be pushed. They just want to find the rockiest stuff and just fly down it. But this can still do rocky stuff, just not as fast and not as quite as composed as those big bikes. Another thing people said is with the big tires, I expected, based on other reviews, that this would feel really muted on the trail, that it wouldn't feel like I could feel the features and really get the flow, that it'd just feel kind of dead. I did not feel that one bit. Maybe I ran the tire pressures higher than most people do, but it felt, I forgot I was on wide tires until I was coming into corners way faster than I ever would on my other bike. So definitely not muted, super fun. You can run 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.8 on this and have a blast doing it. There's so many options, and anyway, I had a ball. I couldn't stop smiling. Half of it's because these trails are amazing. The other half is because this bike is amazing.
You guys swallowed a bug.